You see successful people and wonder what they know that you don't. The truth? It's not luck, intelligence, or even a high income. A 5-year study of 233 wealthy people and 128 struggling financially revealed something stark. Most people, no matter how smart or hardworking, never build real wealth. But it's not because the path is hidden. The difference lives in the everyday choices you make. Let me count down the real reasons why most people stay broke, so you understand exactly what separates you from those who build lasting wealth. Reason 10. Most people waste their time on entertainment instead of education. 76% of wealthy people dedicate at least 30 minutes daily to learning, reading books, studying their industry, developing new skills. Meanwhile, 97% of people struggling financially spend that same 30 minutes on entertainment, watching TV, scrolling social media. 77% watch over an hour of TV daily. You can't outsmart poverty if you're not feeding your mind. Think about it. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. But one group is using 30 minutes to level up their knowledge while the other is chasing dopamine hits. Over a year, that's 182 hours of skill building versus zero. That gap compounds into decades of different outcomes. Reason 9. You spend more than you earn instead of building a gap. Here's the brutal statistic. 95% of people struggling financially spend more than they earn. They're racking up credit card debt just to keep up with expenses. But 88% of the wealthy live below their means and save at least 20% of their income. That gap between what comes in and what goes out is literally where wealth lives. You can't invest money you've already spent. You can't compound capital that doesn't exist. Wealth building starts with creating space, a buffer, a surplus. Not someday when you earn more. Today, with what you have. Reason 8. You don't understand basic financial concepts. 93% of people in financial struggle lack understanding of basic financial literacy. They don't know how compound interest works, what tax-advantaged accounts are, the difference between debt that builds wealth and debt that destroys it. Without this knowledge, even a paycheck just slips through your fingers. Financial literacy isn't something you're born knowing. Some of the smartest, most successful people I researched started out completely lost with money. The difference is they decided to amp up their game and become financially savvy. They realized hard work alone won't stop money from slipping away. Reason 7. You're surrounded by people with the same poor habits. 68% of wealthy people actively nurture relationships with success-minded people, mentors, colleagues, peers who push them to grow. But only 11% of people struggling financially do the same. Instead, they surround themselves with negative influences that drain motivation and keep them stuck. The people you spend time with become your normal. If everyone around you is paycheck to paycheck, that becomes what feels achievable. You need mentors and peers who think bigger, who've built something, who challenge you to level up. Reason 6. You're addicted to instant gratification. 70% of people struggling financially engage in time-wasting activities daily. 23% gamble regularly, compared to just 6% of the wealthy. These habits don't just waste time. They rewire your brain to chase short-term dopamine hits instead of building long-term wealth. When you're constantly chasing quick wins and immediate pleasure, you're not building wealth. You're building a cage. Your brain gets trained to want the reward now, not the compound wealth later. Reason 5. You never start a side business or income stream. In the same study, 51% of wealthy people own or are actively building a side business. Only 2% of people struggling financially do the same. Your 9, 2, 5 is a ceiling, not a foundation. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be freelancing, consulting, selling digital products, reselling. The point is you're creating another source of income that doesn't depend on trading time for dollars at a single job. That multiplies what you can save and invest. Reason 4. You're afraid to take risks or make moves. Fear keeps you small. You have the skills, the plan, the opportunity, but what if fails? What if people judge you? So you wait. You stay safe. And every month waiting is a month your wealth isn't compounding. The wealthy didn't get there by playing it safe. They took calculated risks. They started before they felt ready. They failed and tried again. Action beats perfection every single time. Reason 3. You're not patient enough to let compound interest work. Warren Buffett famously bought Coca-Cola stock in 1988. That was 35 years ago. He's still holding it. He thinks in decades. Meanwhile, The average investor checks stock prices daily, trades constantly, tries to time the market, and significantly underperforms. Here's the math that should wake you up. If you invest $200 a month from age 25 to 65 at an 8% return, you end up with about $698,000. But if you wait until 35 and invest the same amount until 65, you only get $298,000. That's a $400,000 difference from waiting just one decade. All because of compound growth that you're not there to collect. Patience isn't boring. Patience is the wealthiest person's greatest superpower. While everyone else is chasing quick gains, your money is working for you 24 hours a day, making money on the money it already made. Reason 2. You keep waiting for the perfect time to start. The perfect income level never arrives. The perfect economic conditions never line up. The perfect moment is always tomorrow, so you never begin. But time is your most irreplaceable asset in wealth building. Someone who invests $5,000 a year from age 25 to 35 and then stops investing can end up with more wealth than someone who starts at 35 and invests the same $5,000 annually all the way to 65. That 10-year head start in compound growth is insurmountable. No clever investing strategy can make up for decades of compounding you gave away. The perfect time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Not next month. Not when you get the raise. Now. Reason 1. And this is the foundation of everything. You don't believe you can get rich. You think it requires luck, connections you don't have, education you missed, or that it's for other people. That belief is the final wall keeping you broke. Because if you don't see yourself as someone capable of building wealth, you'll sabotage every chance that comes. The path to wealth isn't complex. It never was. It requires qualities many people lack. Yes. Patience, discipline, rationality, willingness to be different. But those aren't born traits. They're habits. And habits can be built starting today. Most people never get rich because they never start thinking like someone who will be. They don't read about it. They don't save for it. They don't build businesses around it. They don't surround themselves with people doing it. They don't have the patience to let time compound in their favor. They wait for perfect conditions that never come. And they don't believe they deserve it. But here's what matters right now. You know why most people stay stuck. Now you have a choice. You can keep doing what everyone else does, what feels normal, what's easy in the short term. Or you can start doing something different. Start with 30 minutes of learning today. Read one chapter of a wealth-building book. Listen to a podcast about personal finance. That's it. That's the entry move. Tomorrow, track every dollar you spend for one day. See where your money is actually going. That awareness is the second move. Next week, cut one unnecessary expense and move that money to a savings or investment account, even if it's just $25. Automation starts here. Find one person further along than you in wealth building. Buy them coffee. Ask them one question about money. Build that relationship. That's your mentorship starting. Those 4 moves don't require money you don't have. They don't require permission. They don't require the perfect moment. They require a decision and 30 minutes of your time. In 1 year, if you commit to learning, saving, and building relationships with the right people, you won't recognize yourself financially. In 5 years, people will ask you how you did it. In 10 years, you'll have the compounding that comes from actually starting. The wealth gap between you and the rich isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not even money. It's daily choices. And your daily choices start now. Don't be like the 97% watching TV. Don't be like the 95% spending more than they earn. Don't be like the 89% with no side income. Don't wait. Don't doubt. Start today. Your future self is watching the decision you make right now. Don't disappoint them. Most people spend every raise before they get it. When your paycheck goes up, so does your lifestyle. A nicer apartment, a better car, more restaurants. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's silent, brutal, and everywhere. The average American doesn't realize they're making more, but saving less, because every extra dollar evaporates into an upgraded life. You can earn 6 figures and still live paycheck to paycheck. I've seen it. The money comes in, but it goes straight back out because you've trained your life to match your income. That gap never closes. The wealthy figure out a different formula. They raise their income without raising their life. The fix is brutal and simple. When you get a raise, don't touch the extra money for a week. Just let it sit. Watch how hard it is to not spend it. That's the grip lifestyle inflation has on you. Once you feel that grip, you can break it. Wealthy people do something different. They automate savings before they even see the money. The paycheck arrives, and a percentage moves straight to an investment account before they can touch it. Pay yourself first, not last. Not the leftover after everything else gets spent. Here's what kills most people's wealth. They focus only on income. But wealth isn't built on what you earn, it's built on what you keep. A person making $50,000 who saves $10,000 a year will beat someone making $200,000 who saves nothing. Every single time. The average credit card in America carries a balance of $6,500. At interest rates between 22 and 24%, that's $1,400 a year just disappearing into fees. You're not borrowing money. You're bleeding it out. Debt is the wealth killer nobody talks about because everyone's in it. A $30,000 car loan, a monthly subscription binge, student loans nobody questions. You wake up at 35 and realize you've been paying for things you don't even own anymore. But compound interest works both ways. If you invest $100 a month at 8% annual return, in 30 years you have roughly $1.1 million. That's the power of consistency over decades. Most people never give it a chance because they stop too soon. The math is brutal. Start investing at 25, and by 65 you're a millionaire. Start at 35, and you're fighting to catch up. Start at 45, and you're basically locked out. Time is your only true asset. You can't buy it back. Most people don't invest because they're afraid of losing money. But inflation is also losing money, just slower and quieter. Cash sitting in a savings account earning 0.01% is dying. Your money is shrinking in purchasing power every single year. Here's the discomfort nobody wants to face. Building wealth requires saying no. No to the expensive vacation. No to the new phone. No to the coffee shop every morning. Not forever, but for long enough to build the base. Most people won't do it because it feels like sacrifice. But here's what changes when you actually build wealth. The freedom you gain is infinitely better than the stuff you give up. You stop trading your future for present comfort. You stop being a slave to your paycheck. You start actually living. 75% of self-made billionaires wake up before 7 in the morning. Not because they're obsessed with mornings, but because morning hours are the only ones they truly control. Before emails. Before other people's agendas. Before the day owns you. Those first 2 hours matter more than the next 10. Your brain is sharpest. Your willpower is highest. Your phone isn't buzzing. Most broke people hit snooze and lose these hours forever. Wealthy people use them to plan, to learn, to work on their future instead of in their job. The wealthy read every morning, not for fun, though that matters, but to upgrade their knowledge. Warren Buffett spends 5 hours a day reading. Bill Gates reads 5 books a week. You're competing against people who are getting smarter every single day while you scroll social media. Here's the lie everyone believes. I don't have time to read, to exercise, to plan. You have the same 24 hours as Jeff Bezos. The difference is what you choose to do with them. He guards his morning ruthlessly. He says no to early meetings. He treats his peak hours like gold. Exercise. 80% of successful people work out in the morning. It's not vanity. It's strategy. Exercise creates mental energy. It creates discipline. It creates momentum before the day even starts. You don't need a gym. You need to move your body and prove to yourself you can. Planning. The wealthy know their 3 most important tasks before they touch their phone. They protect time for those tasks. The rest of the day is responding to everyone else. They own the first hours. That's where wealth is built. Your net worth is the scoreboard of your financial life. Assets minus liabilities. That's it. Most people don't know their number. They don't want to. But you can't improve what you don't measure. Wealthy people check their net worth regularly. They face the number. They move it forward. Start tracking money with obsessive detail. Every dollar in, every dollar out. Not because money is your life. Because tracking it tells you what you value, what controls you, and where your real power lies. You'll be shocked at what you find. The gap between rich and broke isn't intelligence or luck. It's discipline. Day after day. Choice after choice. Small decisions that nobody notices that compound into completely different lives. You're not one success away. You're 5 years of boring consistency away. So here's where you are right now. You know why most people never get rich. You know the moves. You know the obstacles. The only question left is whether you're willing to be different. Not smarter. Not luckier. Different. Starting tomorrow, starting today. Start now.